it was cool, and they probably could have did without somebody just over redoing the hook. You should have just let the sample just rock out, like, because they was rapping on that joint, like they was rapping on that joint, but it was just still, it was just like, it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was something to listen to, but same old shit. I mean, I didn't, like I said, my expectation wasn't for it to be, you know.
But sometimes it's not, to me, it's not even about the expectations. It's just like, dog, what are you talking about? Like, dude, you know what's so crazy? And like I said, and y'all know a lot enough times I come on here and I be like, bro, I don't agree with a lot of Joe Budden music takes, but he was just like, dog, they was rapping about nothing. Like, I could just turn the music up loud and it's just like, all right, it's on, but they ain't saying nothing. You ain't talking about nothing. And people give Drake a hard time about the stuff that Drake may rap about or who he talking about or whatever the case may be. Yeah, you can't. At least Drake's one thing. Like, we all know Drake's super rich. We know Drake got the plane and all that, but he still know how to make the music relatable. Where the everyday working class man can listen to Drake and still be like, oh, this is a bop. I done been through this. I can relate to these experiences. It was just like with Ross. It was just like, bro, how many times you gonna tell us, oh, you're okay? So guess what I'm saying? If you want to tell people you rich, all I'm just sitting here saying is, Ross, just go on Backpage or OnlyFans, one of these things, and just go buy some cheeks, dog. Because who you telling this to?
But who's to say? I don't. But even with that, I'm like, but how many times I want to hear you about you struggling though?
It's not about struggling, but it's just about you can rap. Like, let's be clear, Meek has rapped about the rollie a million times, but it's a lot of. But you got to think about it. It's a difference where you got to sit here and say, I can't rap above the drug dealer. You have to stop with whatever you feel like the average street, and that's when sometimes when I'm talking about you have so much of a disconnect from your audience and just from the regular people. And I ain't even talking about working people. I'm talking about regular street people or scammers or whatever the case may be. You got to think about what is their bar. I can't go past them because then who is going to actually be able to relate to my music? Robert Kraft? He ain't listening to you.
But that's what I'm saying. But how many people actually when you say that, like, okay, I get it. You saying like you rapping about the rich. But then maybe, okay, it's just because I'm rapping about the rich and then you got Meek Mill's rapping about this. That's why it's not.
But Ross still has to be Ross. He has to bring something to the table.
But on a Ross album, I feel like that's the same. That's what I'm saying. So he's rapping about the lavish life that he's living, right?
Yeah, but listen what I'm saying. So all of that, what you saying could be true. But then again, it will be like, that's why Rick Ross wouldn't be able to go on tour by himself right now. Like it was a joke on Twitter going on right now, and they was debating who was the biggest artist from Florida right now between Kodak Black and Rod Wave. Rick Ross is so far out of that conversation, and you got to think about it. And we're gonna get into Rod Wave in a minute because he was just here, and that Rod Wave is cranking him with the tours. He dropped a project, and he's like, "Boy, I'm coming right back." Like we literally, like, it ain't even been a year since that last tour.
What was the last?
I want to say like around the springtime.
I know it was sometime last year, I thought. But what was
it was, I can't remember he might have did
that. Was he on with somebody else? It wasn't him. Right?
No, it was him by himself. He was headlining. He don't do no code. I mean, he bring people up under him, but he don't do he headline on his own Jones.
Because I was just trying to remember what was the album.
So, but that's just my point of it is like it's not necessarily about struggle, but it's still about what do you go through your real life. Your real life can't be just, oh, I'm on this island, I'm just playing, I'm this, that, and the third. And if it's
about the depressing shit, like, damn, I mean, that many people depressed listening to Rob.
But Marcus, but let's be real. You think it's more rich people or depressed people?
But
just answer the question.
No. But my thing is, but when you say that, okay, everybody's not a drug dealer.
So then you're proving my point that window of people who Rick Ross can be relatable to is even smaller. I try to give them a benefit of doubt. Where I'm like, okay, perfect. What I'm saying is that's the difference between youngins. So when the youngins rap about Hellcats and Trackhawks and all that, so they know for a fact, okay, cool, this can be relatable to the average person who work a job who just really into cars, or this can still be relatable to the trap in the street because this is what the car that all the young boys driving. That's why, and that's what Dirk and them will tell you. I'm not rapping about Rolls Royces and Lambos. You think Drake and you think that Dirk and them can't afford Lambos? Yeah, but why I'm going to rap to an audience that I know is going to come out to see me. They are riding around in Hellcats and Trackhawks. That's why that song was even so big for Sexy Red. It has to be relatable. You are a rapper, dog. You're not you ain't Tyler Perry. And when you become unrelatable, who's going to listen to the music?
I don't.
And it happened, but you can't give them no bail because if I was wrong, or if I was wrong and people, you just sit here and say it was cool, it was something to listen to, you're not going to go back and listen to it.
So, I mean, I would, but my thing is, if I'm saying when you talk about the whole relatable thing, nobody lives You ain't sold drugs and how long? So I think that's what I'm saying. When you say what's relatable, or when I can quote a line, or I can say something like, "Oh yeah, I remember when I did such and such." But what really are you not living that life still? So that's why I'm
But
saying.
that doesn't mean it's still relatable to me. I can still relate to it. It's still related to Boo. Talking about a plane, the whole entire project is relatable to who? It ain't no way to move it for him. It's that music is not relatable. If it was relatable, them niggas did every interview besides the Breakfast Club because he blew a hole in that one. And guess what? They still sold the same amount of projects as NBA YoungBoy, who did not even talk about this project. He just put out a private project on Friday and going to do the same amount. Something is wrong. That math ain't mathing, dog. You trying to give him excuses saying he can't. Obviously it ain't relatable to a lot of people. It ain't just me.
So is the YoungBoy album relatable?
Obviously, if he got just as many places, there's supposed to be two megastars.
I